guys, welcome back to my channel. So we recently purchased a home and there were so many things that I just didn't realize that we had to do, or all these things that I learned. And I asked on Instagram if I should do a video on all the things I learned, and a lot of people said yes, and I was really shocked because I don't know like if a lot of people are looking into buying homes now and that's why they're curious, or they're just curious regardless. So I figured I would do like all the things that we did learn. So I wrote it all down on my notes. So if I'm looking down, that's because I'm reading, like reminding myself what I said. Okay. It was weird because we weren't really house hunting. We were just kind of looking what's out there. And then we found a house that we actually really liked and wanted to put our offer in. But because we didn't know if our offer would get accepted, we only got a pre-approval, like a basic one. I don't know what it's called, but they don't check your credit yet. Because we didn't want a ding on our credit score if we weren't even going to get the house, and then we were going to still wait a year to, you know, find another house that we liked. So we only got it like a basic approval. So when our offer was accepted, we ended up needing to get that credit check for the pre-approval. So then it did do a ding on our credit, but at least we were safe because if we didn't get the house, then we didn't need to do that. So when we first put in our offer, so our realtor is my cousin, and there are so many different ways about negotiating, because you can either, you know, go really high to almost your max and then they counter and then you only counter like $5,000 more or something like that, or you can start low and like meet in the middle. But then if you start low, they might be like, who the hell are these people? You went so low, like like what's the word, like they can be offended that you went that low. So instead you can just go like pretty close to the amount you want to spend and then go from there. Before you do though put in your offer, like we were so excited that I forgot to ask like how old all the things in the house were. Like they said they're new on the website on Zillow. You should really know like what year they were installed and put in, so you know when you are gonna expect to replace them. So it was when we initially put in our offer, I think then we asked like how old the like the water heater, the furnace, what else should you ask about? In our case they have an in-ground pool, so the pool liner, because it's not fiberglass, air conditioner, things like that. The part that is really actually fun is the negotiating part. Like it's not as stressful as like, it kind of is, but not when you're like trying to negotiate a raise and like you're going back and forth and stuff. But kind of interesting to see like how low they will go, because rarely do you buy a house these days at full ask, you know? So it was interesting to see how low they would go and what the terms were, because we had asked for like a 90-day close because we're not in a rush to move out, and they actually were okay with that. I mean, their realtor was like, you know, is there a reason that it's a 90-day close? Another thing I found out about was everything is so digital now. Like our offer letter, we got to digitally sign with like DocuSign, and we didn't have to like go to the realtor's office, sign the paperwork. Like I always imagined like doing all that, but everything was digital, which was awesome. And of course for the closing, which we haven't closed yet, but for the closing, I think we're gonna have to go to the lawyer's office, have a witness, and sign those paperworks to move the title over to our names. But yeah, that was interesting to do everything online because I love that. I personally love that, so I was happy. Yeah, oh, so I realized the things that you can offer. It's like you can be like, okay, we're gonna offer this much, but we want a 30-day close. So 30-day close means in 30 days we want the house to be in our name and we want the keys. So you can negotiate, you know, if they didn't like our money and they wanted to get out faster, we could have done a 60-day close, you know? Like it doesn't have to be all about money. It's kind of like a job. Like you can negotiate money, but you can also negotiate like vacation days. So if it's not all about the money and they might not like the money and the closing, then you can just offer to lower the closing time, and that kind of helps you with negotiating. You can also be like, this is the amount we want to pay, say $200,000, this is what we want for the house, but you have to pay for the closing. And you could do that. But in our case, my cousin said that it's smarter to pay for the closing on your own, and that's like attorney's fees, an appraisal, the lender, you know, all those. I don't exactly know what is part of the closing yet because we haven't closed, but you pay for your home inspection separately, which for us was like $300 some dollars. You know, they don't know how much money we have saved up. They don't know if we can afford this house, whatever. So we wanted to pay for the closing on our own because it's kind of saying like, yeah, we have the $5K for closing, if that's how much it is, to pay for closing. Like, we have a down payment for the house and we have the $5K. Like, it makes you look more prepared to purchase a home rather than asking for them to pay for the closing. Earnest money. I had no idea what this was. So basically on the offer letter, you put down an amount like between, I think, like 3 to 10K, I don't know, of here's the money. You write a check for them and everything after they accept the offer. Here's our check for, like, let's say $2,000. It's the earnest money. So if we back out, you keep the $2,000, but if they back out, they give the $2,000 back. So it's kind of like, here's our money, we're serious about this, and we want the house, so here's, you know, some money to start it off with. And that money actually gets put into the, I think, either the closing costs or it could be the house amount. I can't remember. Sorry, this isn't gonna be like a perfect what I learned, but this is like a little bit what I learned. Oh, okay. So technically, after you put the offer in, the inspection happens around 5 days after. For us, I think it was a little longer because we wanted to go on a weekend because we work downtown. So it was easier for us to go on a weekend. So ours was a little bit after 5 days after the offer letter was signed, we did our inspection. And then for like the signatures, the sellers have to sign, and then the buyers have to sign the offer letter. So my friend went through this process already, and she was mentioning that her realtor requested that they do a sewer scope inspection, which is basically like scoping the sewer, like checking it out to make sure, it just got really cloudy, to make sure that the sewer was clear and it wasn't going to be an issue later on. We actually didn't do that because our inspector didn't do that, and we'd have to get a new inspector or a second inspector to just check that, and we kind of just opted out not to do the sewer scope. If there's issues later on, we'll have to pay for it on our own. Also, like, because we're remodeling, I didn't care about them cleaning or having the house clean before you move in, but honestly, I feel like you should be able to ask for that in your terms of like, please get a cleaning crew to clean the house before we move in, or before we get the keys. Please make sure the house is like spick and span, because that just sucks to like close and then you have to clean the whole house before you can move anything in or get cleaners. So to kind of make it easier for you, see if you can put that in the agreement. Oh, and then for us, for our home inspection, we actually asked them to be there because we wanted to ask questions about all the landscaping because that was stressing me out, and the pool. So we actually met them, and it was kind of interesting because then it was a little, yeah, it's different, you know, you can't like walk around with the inspector and he checks everything and he tells you everything because that's kind of awkward with them there. But he gave us a write-up of everything afterwards, so it was fine, and we got so many questions out to them about how they maintain the pool and who they have close and open it, and we got a lot of questions out that way. So it was nice when there's like a lot in the house that you're unfamiliar with to have them there, and they were okay with being there, and we met them and they were nice, and yeah. So that was nice. So yeah, after the inspection, then you get your real pre-approval. So this is when they ding your credit, and you could do like a 60-day, but in 60 days, they'll give you the loan after that ding. So for some reason, I think the interest rate was better that way. So that's what we did, and Colin actually looked around a lot for different interest rates. We got a really, really good one, and it was called better.com. That was one of the lowest ones we found, so we were lucky. And that interest rate stays with you for your entire mortgage unless you refinance. So it's really important to get a really good interest rate. Also, closing usually happens on weekdays. So we close in December, and I have to work from home that day so I can go sign the paperwork, and then we'll get our keys. And then the next day we'll actually go to the house and Like, I want to do an empty house tour and I want to see the house. We're gonna have contractors come and give us quotes. Like, I want to get this speed in. We're not like ready to move in, but like I just want to know how much everything's gonna cost that we want to do. And then before your closing date, you'll go like a couple days before to make sure they did the changes from the home inspection that you wanted and asked for. But for us, we're going actually a week before, so because we want to go on a weekend with work and everything. I realized you also have to, I think before you close, you have to have proof that you have home insurance now for the house. Sorry, my camera died. So that was another thing. We had to do a lot of research to get like a good rate for home insurance. And if you have a pool, sometimes it's more, but I don't think it was much more for us. Colin did the research on that and also on the loan thing, and because he does do finance, so I'm like, okay, you do it and I'll just do the home decor and the remodeling. But even though he's giving his 2 cents on remodeling, and I don't think he should, because I think I'll do a just fine job without him. I wish Colin was here to give you more information on like the tax money, because property taxes, so they were living in the house all of 2019, right? But you get the bill for 2019 taxes in 2020, and we're gonna be living there. So I think at closing what happens is they will give you that money to pay the taxes for the 11 months that they were living there. So that should happen at closing as well. And yeah, at closing you just have to get your checks ready or wire the money for the attorney fees and I think the lender fees. But it just got really dark, and that's kind of it. Hope that was helpful, because I really did learn a lot. You know, it's a new experience. We'll see how closing goes. I'll probably update that just like in a vlog or something. But I wanted to do this because you guys wanted one, and I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm sorry we haven't closed yet, so I don't have that information, but I'll try to answer them. I didn't want to wait to put this video up a whole month. So yeah, let me know if you have any other video requests. There will be an empty house tour in like a month. I'm really excited about that. Can you tell? Like, I just talk about it all the time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And this little thing, it'll go, I like that one. I'm off to now take some brand photos for Instagram, so I gotta go. We'll see you in the next video. Bye. Most